Okay, welcome back. At the moment you should have an interface that looks pretty much the same as this one. You should have everything renamed, all your command buttons, all your labels, all your text boxes and so on. Okay, I'm going to go into view code. Now we're going to go into an area that we've not gone into before. Generally speaking, we've gone behind command buttons and wrote something behind a command button, as an example command run, which we will be writing some programming later on. But first of all, I need to declare, and you'll notice that at the side of it there are declarations. I'm in the general area. I need to declare that we're going to have a variable. We're going to have a storage area for information. Okay. Now, like I said in the previous video, if you've not done the exercises and the assignment work and so on data types, you'll find this quite difficult. So you need to go back and learn about the data types first before you attempt this. Okay. Dim is a command in Visual Basic that basically declares variables. Int number, again I'm using that prefix and I'm just giving it a name, number. The data that we're going to get in is obviously going to be a number. So dim int number, okay? And then I need to specify to Visual Basic what data type this number is. It's a data type of integer. So dim int number as integer. That's the code I've just written. Okay. Now then, this is quite tricky, this, because if we run our program, we've got a text box. Now we can enter anything into this text box, whether it be text or a number. Okay. But as we've talked about before, integers can't have text stored in them. A variable that's an integer can only store numbers. So we need to get around the fact that a text box, basically by default, if you look at the label here, is text. If I just write text in there, you'll see, or test in there, you will see, going back to the screen, that the test has appeared in there. It's a text box. It's for text, okay? I'll just get rid of that test. Okay. But we want our user to put a number in there, and then we're just going to display it. This is leading up to us writing a simple calculator. Okay, obviously we calculate with numbers. So in the run command button, I need to write some code to convert whatever they've entered into an integer value. Okay, and I use a function called cint, convert to integer. Okay. Now I need to say where this information is going. So it's going in my variable int number. So int number is equal to this conversion function. Now I need to say exactly what I'm converting. Okay. So what am I converting? Well, I'm converting the text in this text box. Okay. So if I go back to the code, what's the name of my text box? Well, my name of my text box is text number 1. So txt number 1. What am I converting? What property of that text box am I converting? Well, I'm converting the text. Okay? And that's it, really. It's quite tricky, this. It's quite tricky, you know. We've gone from simple displays and objects and command buttons and altering properties to something that's quite a leap. It's quite a jump, this. It's quite a leap of faith, really, for you, because you need to understand, first of all, what we call predefined functions, which is cint. You need to understand about parameters. These are parameters within this function, basically what's in this bracket. Okay, and we need to consider assignment operators. This equal sign is assignment operator. So basically I'm assigning to int number, I'm making int number equal to whatever is in text numbers text box, and I'm converting it into an integer. So quite a lot of information there to grasp and get in. So before you move on to the next video, it's really important that you understand that. So just to go through that again, I am taking whatever's put in text number 1 text box. So basically text number 1 dot text, that's the property, the text. I'm converting it into an integer and I'm putting it in int number. So I'm saying int number is equal to the converted integer of text number 1 dot text. Hope that makes sense. Now just carrying on from that cint, all we're going to do is display it into our label. So basically we run the program, the user enters a number, they press run, and the value gets displayed there with a simple message. Okay, so we're still in the private subcommand run, in other words that run button, we're still behind that. We can do more than just one thing, we can put a lot of code behind each of these command buttons. So basically, label, what's the name of our label, just to check, label display. Okay, so label display, what's the property, if you can remember, caption. Okay, we'll make it equal to, and we'll say your number is, close our quotes. This is something new. We've always just displayed a bit of text, but we need to display some text and our value. Now we use the ampersand to add on to the message, otherwise it would overwrite it. And what are we displaying? We're displaying int number. Int number being the variable, the storage area where our number is actually stored. What we've actually done as well is the first time you've come across, it's quite important, this is sequence. Okay, we've got to make sure that we convert our number first before we actually display it. So we've talked about sequences in class, how you'd make a cup of tea, how you'd make sure you'd boil the water first before you pour the water into the teapot. Otherwise, if the water's not hot, the tea's not going to brew. And that is sequential, sequence, going in sequence. We've got to follow a list of instructions. Okay, so in this case, just space that out a bit so you can see that a bit better. We've got to make sure that we've converted our number before we move on and actually display it. Okay, and if we run that program, I enter a number, 34, I click run, your number is 34. I could change that to 56, I'll run it again, you'll see that the number's changed to 56, and so on. Okay. What I would like you to do is just add the code for the quit button. I haven't done that at the moment, so when you press quit it actually quits the program. Hopefully you'll remember that from previous programs. And we'll check back in a minute and see how we're getting on, and then we'll look at adding numbers together. Okay, thank you very much.